Welcome back to this CSS series. In the video, we will be looking into applying borders and backgrounds with CSS. Let's start with borders. The CSS border properties allow you to specify the style, width, and color of an element's border. Similar to margins and paddings, borders can be defined from the top, right, bottom, and left sides individually. Border syntax can get really wordy if you're specifying the style, width, and color individually. That's why I recommend going with the shorthand notation. This will actually let us set all three border properties at the same time for each individual side. Now, if all four sides are going to be identical, you can actually condense this shorthand further and just simply say border and then give it the properties that you want. Now, one important thing to remember about borders is that they do affect the overall width of an element. Border widths begin at the edge of padding widths and then extend outward. So in this instance, we've got an element that's 100 pixels wide. It's got 20 pixels of padding either side, bringing the width to 140 pixels. And then a 5 border on the other side, bringing the total width for this element to 150 pixels. Now let's talk a little about border styles. Border styles can be set in one of 10 values. There is none and hidden, which are very similar except when tables come into play. And then there's solid, dotted, dashed, double groove, ridge, inset, outset. Now, solid, dotted, and dash styles create a single flat line, and correspondingly, it's either solid broken into dashes. The remaining values create a dimensional line effect that often require a width value more than 1 in order to see the result. Now, how about the border color property? This allows you to define a specific color for your border that's independent of an element's foreground or background color. Before we move on, I want to take a moment to discuss the difference between a border and an outline. Their syntax is very similar, but there's an important distinction. An outline is drawn just outside of the border's edge. While you'll see the border property used more frequently, outlines play a very important role too, specifically in the realm of usability and accessibility. Here are a few notes in using outline. It draws a line outside all sides of the box, so you can't specify particular sides like you could with a border. Also, it is not part of the box model, so it does not affect the position of the elements or nearby elements. Lastly, assigning outline a value of 0 or none will remove the browser's default focus style. If an element can be interacted with, it needs a visible focus indicator. Are we together? We are gradually getting to the practical aspects, but before then, please listen up. Moving on, let's talk about backgrounds. The background property let us add visual sophistication and style to even basic content. The word background is actually shorthand CSS, letting you define all the background style properties at once, such as color, image, size, and so on. Now, the default style for most elements is to have a transparent background, meaning you can see right through them. By explicitly setting the background property, you can choose solid colors, gradients, or even images behind an element's content. They're all pretty cool, I should point out as well. It is entirely possible for an element to have both background color and a background image. Background colors are layered underneath background images and allow you to combine the two for interesting visual effect. Are you good on this? In the next video, we will be understanding the units of measurements in CSS. Okay, thanks for watching. Kindly like, share, and subscribe our platform.